Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a fantastic day. And may peace be upon you. Thank you for watching the show. Yes, I can with me, your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. And today I have the fabulous ladies from the book project. Just Say No with me. Today is the book launch. The book is available on Amazon for 99 cents only. Just Say No is about saying no to your boundaries that are going to not only help you, but at the same time, be loving and respectful to others so that both of you can move on and be in the path that you need to be. So first of all, I'm just going to ask the ladies to come off mute and just say, wave and say hello.
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 Hey, hello.
Wonderful. And the ladies are from all around the world. We've got such an amazing group today. And they have already hit the #1 international #1 bestseller in the US. Congratulations. And it's such a book that is powerful and it's also a challenge. How do you say no, right? How do you say no when you want to say no, but sometimes it has to be a yes. You want to say no, but it doesn't come out. Oh, what if this, and this? So the ladies here are just going to share with you what they've learned in their stories as they go on their challenges and their journey to give you the tips on how you can powerfully say no while still be compassionate to yourself and to others. So first of all, I'm gonna kind of like acknowledge the book leader, Megan Brunis. Megan, congratulations, darling, for doing this wonderful book project. So Megan, just a quick a minute word from you, what it means for you to have this book today. I know we started off this book when you were, I think 5-6 months pregnant, if I remember correctly, or at least somewhere along that lines. And then you were like, yeah, I'm going to start after the baby. No, Megan, you start now. Because when the baby comes, things just go everywhere. So you start now. So Megan, come in to say hello to everybody.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Megan Greiners from Cape Town, South Africa. And I was part of another book project a couple of months ago. And while I was writing my chapter for that project, I found out that I was pregnant with my firstborn. And I was like, okay, this is it, right? I'm done writing now. But no, I actually continued and then I started my own, I basically masterminded my own project with all these beautiful ladies over here. And boundaries was something that resonated with me because as women, men as well, but as women specifically, people pleasing is the #1 killer why we do not reach our destinies and why we do not fulfill our purpose. So I was on a hunt, right? I was on a hunt for women that's hungry, for women that's unstoppable, for women that are the leaders in the industry. And I came about the path of all the women that you see right here. So this is real women with real stories, right? You would always think, there's something special or something extraordinary that you can't achieve it. But I want to tell you that anything is possible. If you want to be an author, it is possible. If you want to be a best-selling author, it is very possible because we've just shown you that it can be done across the globe, across continents, different nations. We are a living example that success, personal success, and fulfilling your purpose is possible. So that is just a short nugget from me, Izzy. I would love to share the stories of the actual women in the project. These stories are so powerful. It's so transformational. If you struggle with trauma, if you struggle with mental health, and all those type of things, you really want to get a copy of this book. I'm sure we'll probably post it in the comment section. You can go and purchase it. For today, it's 99 cents. And yes, but let's open up the floor for the actual contributing authors.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, I'm just going to start by introducing the ladies. That we have such an amazing group today. So I'm going to start with Shelly, and Shelly's going to introduce herself really quickly, and then we're going to go around the office so that each of you can build a connection with them. You can feel them, you can hear them, you can see that, you can feel what they're passionate about. So Shelly, darling, come and say hello.
Hello, guys. My name is Shelly Hink. I am a former nurse turned wholeness expert, educator, and creator, and I am super passionate about really bringing wholeness to the body of Christ.
Fantastic. Really sharp to the point. Well done. And Kate, come and say hello. Looking fabulous in the red, darling.
Thank you. I'm Kate Nash. I live in Florida in the USA. I help women create courses and programs, and I'm super excited to be a part of this. It was such an honor to share this very personal part of my journey in the hopes that other people will be inspired as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Susan Fleming, come and bring out the cheetah in you, darling.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Susan Fleming. I'm in Georgia, USA, and I'm a licensed mental health therapist and a business alignment therapist. And my chapter is about transforming from performance into partnership.
Beautiful, transforming from to partnership, something really beautiful, because it takes two to tango, it takes two to dance. It takes more to build a team, and it's a team that wins championship. Wonderful. Mitch Nicholas, come and say hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mitch Nicholas. I'm from the Philippines. I'm a book writing coach and a book editor, and I'm so glad to partner with all of you wonderful ladies.
Wonderful. And look at you. I think it's pretty late over there, Mitch.
Yes, it's like, I think it's like 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Right?
And look
Yes.
at the commitment
1:14
over there.
a.m.
Oh my God, look at the commitment for the ladies here. Some of you are super early, some of you are super late, but look at the commitment, what it takes to be in life, to win in life, to be successful. It takes showing up no matter what. So well done, darlings. Carmel, darling, I come and say hello. You're the first person in the book. For somehow your image just stick with me. You know, you and that pose, it just sticks with me. So good for you, darling. Come and say hello.
Hi, I'm Carmel Austin from Australia. I live on the south coast of New South Wales. It is 4 a.m. here in Australia, and I've been up for hours and I'm just loving this experience. I'm a wholeness life coach and mentor. I have journeyed through a lot of things in my life. In my book, I'm sharing something very personal. I haven't shared this before. And my hope is to help women heal through emotional pain, through grief, and see that their life can be transformed and their dreams come true. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. And grief is something that is a process. It's such a beautiful thing. When it catches you, it catches you. So what a beautiful thing. Latanya Moore, hello, darling. Come and say hello. Darling, we can't hear you. Have you got your mic turned
on? Okay, I'll switch mics. How about
yes, perfect, darling. Okay.
All right, so
Go ahead.
All right, I'm Dr. Latanya Moore. I am a podcaster, coach, and consultant. I love to help people build their relationship with God, walk in purpose, and build kingdom businesses God's way. My chapter is all about setting boundaries with myself. And so I was my own worst enemy. And so I had to share the story of how I went from pursuing purpose, my way, to pursuing purpose God's way. So setting boundaries is important.
Absolutely. Because guess what, darling? The person that we have to live the most is with ourselves, right? Not other people. So that is such a spot on chapter. I can't wait to hear more. So next we're gonna go up to Rachel. Is it did I pronounce it correctly? Is it Rachel or Raquel?
Yep,
is it French?
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Ulstead. I am a life and business coach, and I also call myself a simplicity expert, and I love helping moms and women declutter, organize, and simplify every aspect of their lives and homes and businesses. In my chapter, I talk a lot about letting go of control. As a type A kind of control freak, I struggled for a long time trying to control my life and business and results and goals. and share a little bit more about letting go of that control to God and tuning into Him and to myself before tuning out to the world to kind of be my guidance with that. And I'm honored to be part of this project with all of you.
That is wonderful. Simplicity, like my motto is keep things simple and the money will follow. It's something I shared in my book, Money Maker. Simplicity is king. Like a lot of people underestimate it. So well done, darlings. Now I got to go to this girl because her outfit is just calling me with the sparkles. So Desi, darling, come and say hello.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Desiree or Daisy Fries I'm South African, but I do live in Dubai as well. Travel in between the two. I'm currently in South Africa, which is awesome with my family. I am a copywriter. I'm an educator of little children. I'm a motivator, and my chapter is all about choosing your narrative. The world is so much focused on you are what you eat, but you're also what you listen to, you are also what you say, you are also what you read. And I just hope to inspire others by sharing my personal story.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. And I think you're such an amazing storyteller, the way you're dressed, the way everything, the way you say. So well done, darling. And the next lady that I'm going to introduce is Rhiannon. And can I say, darling, I just love your lipstick color. It's just like so bold. It's so fresh. But it also has a subtle femininity to it. So come in and say hello, Rhiannon.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here with you ladies. My name is Rhiannon Helgeson and I'm from England. I'm a biblical mindset coach and business mentor, and I'm really, really super passionate about helping women step boldly and confidently into the women that God really created them to be. So I'm so blessed to be here with you all.
Oh, that's beautiful. Because sometimes we underestimate, we play small, right? So you're like, this is your version. Let's go all the way to the top. And, sometimes I'm going to come back to my British accent because I did live in England for some time. And sometimes we're going to have a cup of tea, okay, darling, with some biscuits and coming forward from that.
I have tea.
Oh, wonderful. So the next beautiful lady that I'm going to bring up is Shakita. So Shakita, she's got her waterfall, the serene, the peaceful things. Come and say hello.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Shakita Torres. I'm in North Carolina, and my chapter is, I'm a licensed therapist and a life coach. And my passion is to help Christian leaders to heal from pain, to heal from trauma, because I understand, Christian leaders really do lack a safe place to be able to just be themselves and be vulnerable. And so as a Christian leader myself, my chapter is about, what trauma stole from me. And I share my story from my own childhood trauma and how I transitioned and allowed myself to heal through therapy, through my relationship with God, and to be able to help other people to do the same.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for creating the space for leaders, because to be a leader, nobody wants to be a leader because it's tough, it's hard, it's a challenging thing. But if we don't step up to be the leaders, no one will. Because sometimes when you look at other people, it's actually us. So thank you for creating that space, Shakita. And the next one is I'm going to go to Siobhan, who's her, I'm going to hope is the Navy, right? The Navy career has inspired me. So because there's military, there's army. So is this the Navy? Because sometimes people just like, no, I'm in the Marine or I'm in somewhere, but it just takes a lot of courage to be who you are, especially in the public sector, especially all the things that you have gone through. Thank you for your service, Siobhan. Come and say hello, darling.
Well, thank you for the introduction. Hello, ladies. My name is Siobhan, the relationship strategist, and I empower Christian couples in committed relationships to strengthen their partnership and eliminate unhealthy behaviors through effective communication. And yes, just like Izzy said, I'm now retired, but it was the Navy that I spent more than 20 years in. So, trials, tribulations. So I write, just a little bit about something in there. And, sometimes when you're in a position where your hands are kind of tied, you have to rely on the Lord. If you're going to say no, you know that there could be consequences, but at the end of the day, the Lord won't he'll always make a way. And so you'll be able to get out of that if you trust him. It may not look like it at the moment, but on the other side, when you follow his footsteps, you'll come out on top. So thank you.
Absolutely. Always that have faith, right? That's what true believers are, the faith, the undying faith, even if in the moment of uncertainty, but you just gotta have that and trust. And the creator, God, will never forsake you for that. So thank you so much, darling. And then next we're gonna say hello to Lola with her beautiful flowers. I just love it, that personal touch. Come and say hello, darling.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lola Roo. I'm here in Zimbabwe, Africa. And really my chapter is about coming from a place of sorrow and getting to that place where you can wake up every day and you are so grateful and so thankful that you chose to walk in your purpose.
That is beautiful. No matter in the place of sorrow, but you choose to fight another day. I remember Lady Gaga in her, I think it was an Oscar-winning speech or something. She wore that beautiful black dress and she's like, this isn't about winning. It's about the number of times you get back up again when you fall. So absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful message there. So let's kind of like hone into the book. Just Say No, a #1 bestseller in the USA. Available on Amazon. Grab a copy today for 99 cents. The darlings and the ladies are going to be putting the link below. So you're going to be able to catch it and I also share it with the show notes with you as well. And Just Say No. It's about boundaries. It's about saying no. Something that's really hard to do because whether it's people pleasing or the culture or the background, and in some cases, it can be life and death situation. It's about saying yes or no. So I'm going to kind of check in with the ladies today and kind of like the biggest advice in saying no, either to themselves or to other people. So I just got to go to the sparkle lady here. It's just calling me. So Desi, darling, come and say your biggest advice and what it means to say no and what are your simple practical tips?
My simple practical tips is, for me, a personal thing is we so often read things and people say things to us and we just agree on what they say instead of believing the actual truth about ourselves and who we really are. And that's something that's been so close to my heart, especially reading the media. We get so into it and we as if it predicts our future, and that does not predict your future. I'm a true believer that the word of God predicts our future and what you believe about yourself and what you choose to believe. And that's just something that's been very close to my heart.
Beautiful. It's what you choose to believe, isn't it? That's going to make a whole lot difference. No matter what the world says, it's what you believe, what you're willing to fight for. That's going to be determining the world and the life that you'll be creating. Absolutely fantastic. And I got to go to this lady. Her bold colors are just calling me. Kate, darling, come and say, what is your biggest advice in saying no?
Saying no. My biggest advice is to ignore the fear. So many times we say yes because we're afraid of saying no. We're afraid of displeasing people. We're afraid of letting people down. And we need to trust God in that He has brought us through. He has made us for a purpose. So many times we say yes to being a false self and saying yes to what other people expect us to do because we just don't trust that God has it all figured out when we just follow Him. So that's my biggest advice, is to trust God.
Absolutely. And what more there is, right? Like apart from that, what is more than there is? Beautiful. So Megan, I'm going to come back to you, darling. Saying no has a cost, has an impact. Saying yes or no has an impact, whatever it is that you say. So how do you kind of like overcome that cost or impact? Like I said, in certain situations, it can literally be the life and death. Your kids or whatever it is. So how can the woman here that's listening, that have the courage to say whatever it is that they want to say, whether it's a yes or no, or trusting their gut feeling, or whatever it is that God has planned for them?
Awesome question, Izzy. Dr. Izzy. I would definitely say it starts with your identity, right? It starts with you knowing whose you are, who you belong to, and the reason why you are here. So many women do not know their why. They do not know their purpose, their reason for existence. So this was basically a reminder for them to come back to the place where it all started for them, because we become so busy, right? Dr. Izzy, I'm sure you can relate as well. People want our time, they want our energy, they want our peace. They just want, and we don't get to a place where we actually say, you know what? I need to make this thing a priority so that I can actually achieve my goals and do the thing that God has called me to. Because we have all been given an assignment on this earth. And if we are not going to master our time, master our emotions, how many ladies can resonate with the emotions part? So you need to overcome that emotions and actually say, you know what? I value my time. I value my worth. And if you don't respect, that is where the boundaries come in. If you don't respect my values, which I am not willing to compromise, then I'm sorry, that we need to have something to stand for. What do you stand for? What do you fight for? So if we need to ask the right questions so that we know the path that we're supposed to go on. So saying no was not something that I could do overnight because I'm a recovered people pleaser. And the reason why we people please is because we are afraid of what people's going to say to us. We're scared that they're going to judge us. So we just say yes to everything. But it doesn't serve us well because we end up with burnout and we end up with unrealized dreams. We're unfulfilled. We go years around the same mountain living for people instead of pleasing God. So ultimately, you need to know your identity in Christ. You need to know your why you are here on this earth. And then you need to know who you are here to serve. Because if you do not know who you are here to serve, then you're going to be you're not going to have any clarity. You're not going to have anything to basically live for or to say no to. So it's important, identity and know your why.
Wonderful. Identity and knowing your why. And kind of, when you get so busy, things just get complicated. So I want to go and look back to Rachel here because she loves making things simple. So Rachel, kind of like, how do you become so lean, so light? How do you take things off of your to-do list? Honestly, my to-do list is I have got 200 things to do, right? So how do you keep things so simple so that, okay, this is a yes and this is a no and nothing else matters? So let's hear your thoughts, Rachel.
Absolutely. I love that question because I think everyone on earth probably can relate to what you said of like having a to-do list and having so many things and tasks and commitments and all of that on our plates. I didn't necessarily write specifically about what I'm going to share right now, but I think it resonates still. And kind of going back to what Megan was saying about knowing your why and really being clear from the get-go on your purpose and on your value system. It has to start there. Otherwise, we are just kind of like a paper bag flying around in the wind, or a plastic bag, right? Flying around in the wind, just being taken wherever, saying yes to all of the things, even if we mean no. We're not even having the understanding of, is this thing that I'm saying yes to, or is this even, in our businesses, is this platform aligned with me? Do I want to spend my time here? What's important to me with my time, with my energy, with my space, with the people that I'm surrounding myself with even? And I think it starts with really understanding your own values and getting so clear on that. And it is sometimes a time-consuming and kind of daunting task, which is why I think a lot of people skip over that, which is where the overwhelm comes in. But if we do the pre-work of really sitting down, getting clear, and coming back to those values consistently, because our values do change as we change a little bit, right? Always centered on God, but they do change as we change and grow in our lives. And I think doing that work and consistently coming back to that makes it so easy to just kind of cull everything that doesn't belong and that doesn't align with those values, so that we can really fulfill our purposes. And kind of what I say is like, spend our time and energy and space doing the things that really light us up, instead of just doing all of the things for the sake of checking boxes.
Absolutely. It's the pre-work is also important, isn't it? Doing the pre-work, understanding it. And, Marie Kondo in a book, Things That Spark Joy, right? It's kind of like having that in your life, in your business as well. things that spark joy, people that spark joy. So I'm going to come back to Shelly now. So Shelly, darling, let's share what is your biggest advice from your story that people can learn from you, because you had such a really interesting journey there. So come and share what you have learned and your biggest advice about saying no, or even saying yes to people and yourself.
Yeah, thanks. I think my biggest advice and what I've learned from my journey is that you have to look backwards to move forwards. And that's a lot of people are uncomfortable. They don't see the beauty in their pain and in redeeming their story. And so what happens is we ignore our past and we pretend like it didn't exist. But what we have to realize is that our past is usually driving our present and our future if we do not go back and understand our stories. And really, I think that understanding our history is what unlocks our destiny. So when you understand your history, you know what is for you and what is not for you, because I believe the truest and purest form of us is who we were when we were children. What sparked joy in us when we were children. And just really encourage people to ask their parents, what did I love, when I was a child, and before the drama and trauma happened. For me, had a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, and that helped to shape me. But what I had to say no to was security and safety of my nursing career. I had to say no to it and let those degrees go so that I could be the artist that God created me to be.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I do feel when we're younger, right, we're the best salesperson, we're the best creator, we're the best at everything. It's just comes so natural to us. But along the way, we've forgotten. And it kind of reminds me, Shelly, like the movie Kung Fu Panda 2. I don't know if you've watched it, but Kung Fu Panda 2 is when Po is kind of like having this, I know some of you are smiling because you remember, right? Having this pain, like such a big headache, but because he was suppressing his past. And the moment that he allows the chi, his path, to flow is the moment when he starts to complete and to heal and to have peace and have that power to bust through that dragon balls, right? That's kind of like the moment that when we have. So that is beautiful. Thank you so much, Shelly. Susan, darling. So coming back to you, what is your biggest advice about your chapter, your journey, and the things that you have learned? And can I just say, darling, for you wearing the leopard, darling, it's just like it's animal instinct. And one of the things I feel about you is that you hone into your animal instinct. That what makes like a lot of people really, really successful. Like top sports person, athletes, they all have that. So that's what I'm feeling from you, darling, the animalistic instinct.
Yeah, you got it right, for sure. I definitely follow that intuition and do things different, it seems, than most other people. Go against the grain. But what I shared in my chapter, I think that's most important, is that you, going back to that identity piece that someone else had shared about earlier, but just knowing not only whose you are, but who you are. So not accepting this is what whoever says about me, right? But really owning for yourself who you say you are and what you carry and what you have to offer to people. And so it makes it easier to say no to things or to say yes to things when you're very clear on who you are, what your mission is, and where you're headed. So if something doesn't align with that, it's easier to go, no, that's not for me, or yes, it is. And so I think that would be my top thing, is my top tip is knowing who you are. The second thing I would say is that know that you have choices. I feel like so many women feel like they don't have any choice in what they can and can't do. And they allow themselves to be dictated by other people because they don't feel empowered to make that choice for themselves. And so, that really that power to make the choice really, again, comes back to knowing who you are, what your values are, what you stand for, and what your mission is, where you're headed, where you're going. And so that would be my top two.
Beautifully said, Susan, in the sense that, you would always have choices, even when the space that you think that you don't, you would always have choices. I'm going to come to Mick now. I see with, flowery floral thing, but no mistake, don't mistaken, darling. She is a formidable woman. Even though she's like the flower, she is a formidable woman. So Mick, I wanted to share, like, in your journey, in your story, in chapter, how did you navigate in finding who you are and finding the courage or the confidence to say no?
Yeah, so as an editor in my work, I know exactly, like, what to say yes to, and and what I'm reading, what to say no to, like edit it out, put this in, edit it out. So it's like yes to this, no to this. And then, yeah, in life, it's just similar, because like what is essential, I say yes to. What is not for this season, I say no to. And I think, like, for the making the choice, the decision making, for me, the top tip is really invite God into your decision making, because yes, I may have some intelligence, but God is the wisest of all. And what I don't know, but he knows. And my second is proceed in peace. Never make that decision of either saying no or saying yes when you are frazzled or when you are overwhelmed. Have that time of just make sure that you're in peace before you make that decision, because otherwise you can regret it. Otherwise, you may not be able to reverse it, or there might be lots of consequences. And in editing, sometimes you make a mistake, it's published. Good thing now, it's digital, you can kind of like easily make mistakes. But before, especially in traditional, I'd make mistakes. I'd have to like do an erratum. I have to say, so many things. But in life, invite God, he is our wisdom, and proceed in peace. So that's what I can share.
That's beautiful. You can feel her, right? She's got the season, the flowers, but she's got that wisdom within her. Like having a moment of a decision, if you can, and whenever it is possible, make it in a sense of when you're calm, when you have peace, when you're in clarity, to make the best decision for it. So I'm gonna go to the lady all the way from down under, who is like, just the fact that she is here today at 4 o'clock in the morning, like no other, like it takes a lot to wake up in the morning. It takes a lot to stay up at night, especially when you have a long day. So this is a woman that, if you want to get things done, she's going to get it done, because she will do whatever it takes. So Carmel, darling, can you share with us what is your tip and your advice in saying no, in understanding, even if just to understand yourself?
Okay, thank you so much. My tip is that through life, we all have decisions to make. We all have choices that we're given. And for me, and what I've written in the book, is to just be your creative self, to be who God created you to be, and do that with boldness and courage. When I was listening to Shelly speaking about who we were as children, and I used to love to dance around the lounge room and get in my dad's garage and pretend to be up on the big stage talking, and always being bold and confident with what I've done. And I've found as I've got older, that's been hard, because people have wanted to put me in their boxes. And in my heart of hearts, I've wanted to share my story for ages. So to be given this opportunity to share a very deep part of what I've been through with heartache and pain, but to know that you can come through that. And like some of the ladies have said, reflecting on our past gives us the benefits and the privilege to move forward with who we are now. So I would say, be your creative self, do all the things that you love. Life here on this earth is very short. but take everything you can and enjoy it. And we all have pains, we all have things that we go through, but it's being able to move past them and see the good in what we have. And it's just such a privilege to be here. And yes, I do show up, I'm very consistent. And that's something that is part of my nature that my mother instilled in me and my parents instilled in me. I come from a very big family of Lebanese and Italian descent. And I just love being an Aussie in this land, but I have a lot of culture and a lot of things to share and to help women and families with. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That is amazing. And it is that thinking it to enjoy life, to be bold and courageous and still be compassionate and caring and loving and joyful, because a lot of people think I'm bold and courageous, but I'm also a B word. I'm also a bitch, right? No, we can be all that together. It's just a matter of choices. Who do you choose to be? I personally don't feel it's an either or. I do feel that we can embrace it all. So that is fantastic comment. And I also come from a culture where we have big family. Oh my God, like 30 people, 40 people coming to dinner is nothing, okay? Like in my household, it's like, she's like, Carmen is like, yeah, it's nothing. So wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna check in with Latanya, Dr. Latanya Moore now. You can tell she's a podcaster by her microphone, and and her sound quality is like absolute crisp. Now, Latanya, tell us, what is your biggest kind of vision, or what is your biggest advice? Because you work with in such this particular spectrum. What is your biggest advice to help people have the courage to, like you said, to either to yourself first and foremost, because at the end of the day, we have to live with ourselves, and when we say no, we break promises.
Absolutely.
Like deep push, like, taking away the power from ourselves, not about other people. So tell us your tips in the kind of navigating through that.
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice I would say to learn to trust God. Kate was talking about that earlier. It's so interesting because as women who are walking and even running toward purpose and really pursuing purpose, sometimes we can get caught up in this, what I call the go-getter spirit, right? We work late nights, we're ready, we're working on weekends, we're taking time away from family, we're doing all of those things. But when we begin to trust God, we can rest in what he has given us, rest in his promises, rest in everything that he is calling us to do. And when we rest, he works. And so I would really share with people the importance of, having those boundaries with yourself and knowing that when you rest, you can trust God. It's a form of trusting God. That's what rest is. And so when you do that, he'll work on your behalf. So
absolutely 100% spot on. It's about surrender too, right? It's about surrendering to everything that you've given, everything that it's about surrendering to the higher power, the person that's going to make it all happen, going to take care of you. Your sustenance is taken care of. Everything in your life is taken care of. And the opener to that is trust and surrender. So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Dr. Latanya. And I'm going to come to Shakita. I love her vibe. I love her kind of like her environment that she's creating today. So Shakita, trust. Let's talk about trust and boundaries. Is that an either or situation? And how do we kind of like navigate when it's like against each other? How can I trust? Because this is like my boundary. What if I do this and it just falls apart? So let's kind of take care from your point of view, from your chapter in navigating that situation.
Yes, for sure. In my chapter, just like Latanya was saying, it's so true. Even in my journey with learning how to say no and trying to overcome that hurdle of going from passive to being assertive was very, very difficult for me. I didn't realize how hard it was until I was trying to overcome it. It took me a few months actually to kind of get through that. And so for me, the trust really, like she was saying, is just asking God, okay, God, should I do X, Y, Z? Because for me, I was such a people pleaser to the point where things for me was cloudy. And so I do not like hurting anyone's feelings. Even to this day, I'm that way in a sense. But I also understand the value of saying no for me and for other people. Like she was saying, in my life, who are important to me, who I want to protect my time, like my family and my children. And so that trust factor really does fall back on trusting God when God say, don't do this, or when God say, go forth. Whatever he's asking you to do when it comes to setting boundaries, he will reveal that to you in due time. That's what I've learned.
Absolutely. And it will be revealed to you at the time, at the divine timing. Because a lot of people, they went, I want it now. God, tell me now. And then like nothing a second later. But it will be revealed. The right person will be revealed to you. The right decision will be revealed to you. The right choices will be revealed to you. You just got to give, exactly like Latanya said, you got to trust and surrender to what we need to surrender, and let the things to flow the way to the divine plan. So let's kind of come back to Rhiannon here. I remember talking to you when we had our coaching session about Bristol and having a cup of tea. So Rhiannon, you shared about your story before, and it is similar to what you wrote in your chapter. So let's kind of take it from your point of view, because you've got kids, and let's kind of share your biggest advice to help other women or help other mom to say no or to say yes, to create boundaries or help to create things take care of their mental health, in what I'm trying to say as well.
Yeah, well, for me, I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always wanted to be a wife. For me, that was like the number one goal in life. And then when those things happened, and I was like, oh, I'm not quite fulfilled yet. So that was like a big journey that I had to go on with God and be like, well, is it okay if I, do other stuff than, just be, I say, just be a wife and mom. And that was really, truly a journey that God took me on to just discover that actually I have this desire for business because it's something that he's put inside of me, and that it's okay for me to say no to whatever anyone else thinks that I should be, and just say yes to everything that God wants for me. So yeah, that was my journey, going from being a people pleaser kind of, and being like, yes, I'm going to be the best wife, yes, I'm going to be the Proverbs 31 woman. And then it was like God hit me, and he was like, well, actually the Proverbs 31 woman is actually a businesswoman, and I was like, oh, of course it is. So yeah, it was all about saying no to everything else that isn't God's best for me, and walking in what God has for me.
Absolutely. And kind of that desire is kind of, it's in alignment, as I'm trying to say. Like, it's in alignment that this is what you want, a mom, a wife, that is like your dream, but suddenly there's something a little bit more. And I'm glad that you trusted your instinct, because it kind of being shown to you the path that is you meant to go, and think about the number of moms, the number of women that you'll be able to help. So I applaud you for that. And I want to come back to Siobhan. Siobhan, you in your chapter, you mentioned about going through a situation with, I forgot the title, is CCOO or with an authority figure that kind of like, hang on a minute, that isn't right. So you were in that kind of like a tricky, between a rock and a hard place kind of situation. So I wanted to share a little bit about your biggest advice in navigating through that still, because in your career as a public servant officer, there could be severe consequences when you go against your superior, kind of in that situation. So tell me, darling, what would be your biggest advice to help other women to navigate through similar situation?
Okay. So at the end of the day, what really stands is your character and your integrity. And a lot of times the crowd is not, it's just not right. And so it does take some courage. I'm not going to say that you won't fear, but you have to be able to work through that fear, because the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So we got to remember that. I've heard someone say, do it afraid. Okay. And then after a while, once you begin to take some little steps, that fear will go away and you'll be able to walk boldly. But particularly talking about a superior, you're right. So in the military, you're kind of bound. You're not a civilian. So there are certain things that you have to do, certain things that you cannot do. And like you mentioned, there could be severe consequences when you go against someone, no matter if they're right or wrong. And so there was a point, the part that I'm talking about in my chapter, I stood alone. I literally stood alone by myself as far as on this earth. The Lord was there, but as far as everybody else coming, and it can be intimidating. It can be nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, I had to make a choice. Was I going to just go along and kind of sacrifice what I knew to be right? Or was I going to stand up and then just whatever happens, happens? Because at the end of the day, if there was a consequence, and eventually it panned out because the Lord was always on my side. So that's what I would say about that.
That's absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely how you come through. Like you said, like you felt that you were alone because in your ship, in that your unit, whatever you call it, it was just you against this comrade who, even though they knew that it wasn't right, it was not okay, but either they kept in silent or they kind of like do the opposite way. But you felt alone. But what I want to say is that Siobhan, you're still standing today. You're still standing, no matter like the courage it took, the bravery. In your situation, it could be severe consequences because you were not a civilian. You were part of the public service. So you're still standing today, and that's what it is about. You're still standing today, going through that. God is always with you, and it came through. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you that you actually kind of like, nope, this is who I am. This is going to stick to, and it truly shows your character. So thank you for that, Siobhan. I'm going to now jump into Lola. So Lola, darling, share about your biggest advice from your chapter, the things that you've learned from your journey about saying no, about saying yes, and the impact it has to your life.
Okay, one thing that really still stands out for me even today is continuing to stay in your lane, and really just saying no to the things that we think we should be doing or we shouldn't be doing. And I say this because when Mitch was speaking, actually, I had this analogy, that we all are a flower, but not all flowers will blossom in certain conditions and certain environments. And sometimes we have to say no to certain comforts. That is the part that we don't always want to acknowledge or think about. Sometimes we have to say no to certain places or certain people. And this is what it is for me to say, when you're staying in your lane, when you're coming into that place where you need to really blossom and really become the person that God called you to be, you have to get to that place where you decide to focus and decide to say, you know what, I'm going to go for gold no matter what. And that for me is still the challenge. And yeah.
You're doing it, darling, and you're doing it so beautifully to go for it, to stay in your lane. I remember that Usain Bolt in his interview, he said that Usain Bolt won nine gold medals. He had a vision that he's going to win 9. He goes for it. And then there was a point when he had an injury, and people were like, no, he's not going to make it. He's done and everything. And he was like, who's number one? Who's number best? I am. Because the amount of training and practice he takes is tremendous. And I think each and every one of you have got that. You may not be an Olympian, a gold medalist, or being paid for it, but you certainly are. The spirit, the courage, the characteristic, the trust in faith that you have. So I'm going to wrap up with one final word, one word from each and every one of you that's going to Summarize your whole story. Make it juicy, make it plump, make it crunchy, make it sexy, darling. So one word, and I'll start with Shelly. Go.
One word, my one word is wholeness.
Wholeness. Beautiful. Kate, darling, your one sexy word is?
My one word is faith.
Beautiful. Megan, your one power word is?
Just be you.
Okay, just be you. Susan, darling, your one inspiring word is?
Partnership.
Beautiful. Mick, darling, your one word.
Courage.
Beautiful. Carmel, your one word all the way from down under. Bring me home.
Adventure.
Adventure. Dr. Latanya Mo, what's your one word?
Unprecedented.
Oh, unprecedented. Absolutely. Rachel, I know you've got your little one. What is your one word?
My one word is passion.
Oh, passion. Love it. Rhiannon, what is your one power word?
Boldness.
Boldness. Detsy, loving the outfit. What's your one power word? You're on mute, darling. Unmute.
My power word is choose.
Cheese, as in cheese?
Choose. No, choose wisely. You have a choice.
Choose. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was cheese. I'm like, oh, okay, if she wants cheese, that's okay. Right, choose. Absolutely, you gotta choose. Even if you choose cheese. Wonderful. Love it. So powerful. Shakita, darling, what is your one power word?
Mine is trust the process.
Trust, absolutely. That is kind of like the theme for our conversation today. Trust, surrender, bold, courage. Lola, darling, what is your one power word?
Glow.
Sorry, darling, what was that again? One more time.
Glow.
Oh, glow, absolutely. All the brightness and the glow. Yes, yes, yes. Right, Siobhan, let's take the ship home. Let's take everybody home safe and sound. What is your one power word?
Integrity.
Integrity, absolutely. Without integrity, nothing works. Without integrity, love and life doesn't work. Beautiful. Thank you for taking the ship home. Thank you for joining me today. And the book, Just Say No, is available today on Amazon for 99 cents. Just today only. After this, Megan, we're going to raise the price up, right? This is just so that everybody can get a hand of the book. There should be no excuses to grab a book. 99 cents today available on Amazon. The link should already be dropped in the below, and also put it in the comments in the show notes after this. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. This is your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. If you want to love to share your voice on prestigious platforms around the world without prejudice, check out izdiharjamil.com. Tell yourself, yes, I can. And so it is done. Darlings, come off mute and just say bye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.